Hello, everybody. I'm DC from DMAC Technology.
I'm Jan from Frontier Consulting, and I believe this is episode 2. So, DS, tell me, who's DS here outside work, and like when you done for the day, what do you do? Like, I know he goes to the gym because I'm seeing him there, but tell me more.
Yeah.
And how's the gym schedule like? Like, what do you do in a week? Tell us a bit more about the personal side of it.
Yo, how a week looks like to me, because I'm very busy, actually. I do not have a fixed work week on how it looks like. As you also know, I don't have a fixed gym schedule necessarily.
It's giving yourself away.
Yeah. But who am I when I get home? Yo, I really enjoy podcasts. I really am spending a lot of time listening to podcasts. I do believe if I listen to it a lot, it will become part of my DNA. So I will start speaking like the people that I admire, that I'll be thinking like the people that I admire. And so trying to save it like in my subconscious about how they do things and how they talk and communicate. And so most of the time, I would listen to podcasts.
And who's your favorite podcaster currently?
Currently, it's Daniel Priestley.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Daniel Priestley is very well, because he looks at business, but he also looks at the economy in a bigger scale. So I really like that about him. And then the Chris Doe, he's the guy that I started out listening to during COVID times. And he's the one who, I want to say, unlocked a lot of things in me, dreams and aspirations, and really helped me to overcome most of my insecurities back then, to start a business and stuff. So really excited about him. And then Finn, also an Asian guy, but he's a communication coach.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Yeah. So because we've been doing all these videos, and it's one of the best skills that you can develop for yourself, is he calls your voice an instrument. And if you got this instrument that you can use, why not learn how to use it well? And so
cool.
I'm really excited about that journey. So I'm really trying to learn regarding that. And so most of my time, it's for my fiance, it can be a little bit frustrating at some times, because I'm just always listening to a podcast, always reading or something. But I also grew up in a little town where reading was like, oh no, boys don't read. And when
I play rugby.
yeah. So we did that
as well.
Yeah. And when I got into uni, I just started reading a lot more. And then I realized, but there's different types of readings, there's different things that we're interested in. And so I've really grown a love for reading now. So yeah, I'll spend some time reading, but also just watching some series, relax. Yeah, I also just enjoy things that gets my mind off of work.
Okay.
I really try to do the work-life balance. I don't know about you.
I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in certain periods in your life there shouldn't be balance, because you're focusing on other stuff at certain periods. Back to the podcast thing. I've been listening to Chris Williamson and Alex Hormozy. It's a good combo. If you guys are interested, you can definitely go look on Spotify or on YouTube. They're quite good. Especially the business guys. Personal development as well. They're really good. I believe there's one between Chris Williamson and McConaughey, which it's a really good one. It's a really good one. And then Alex Hormozy has one, I think 41 Truths or something, about like questions that he asked himself.
Yeah.
He calls them the toilet tweets.
Yeah.
So he tweets stuff like while he's sitting in the bathroom, and it's like mostly things to himself, which is very cool if you dive deeper into that.
Okay.
And this podcast in particular, they go into like the details and discuss these points.
Yeah.
And it's eye-opening. For me, it was life-changing. It gave me perspective in life.
Yeah.
So that was quite cool.
Okay. And what would you say was one of the biggest things that you took out that you could implement in your, I want to say, daily life?
Sure. There's so many. I mean, there's 41 that he listed. I mean, there's so much to like, and I do listen to it like once in 2 months or once in 3 months. And I believe that. I do listen to it while I'm in the bakkie on the car and driving on the roads, because some things are applicable to you at some stages, and you're like, light bulb moment. And then other months, it's like topic number 4 like hits you. Like, what? How did I miss this? But it's because it's applicable at certain periods of your life. So that's quite cool. I think one thing that I have in common with Alex and with Chris Williamson is they do like exercising,
Oh yes.
going to the gym.
Yeah, they're quite buff oaks.
Yeah, they're
all
quite
very lean.
yeah, they look quite well.
Yeah.
They look after themselves, but they also believe in fitness. You know, balancing life with business.
Yeah.
That's a very, very important thing. Back to the topic of books.
Yes.
What's your top 3 books that you have read in your life so far?
Okay, top 3 books. How to Influence People from John C. Maxwell was definitely one that I really resonated with a lot.
Carnegie, have you seen that one?
No.
How to Influence People and Friends, I believe that's what
I've heard about it.
Okay.
I haven't read him yet.
Okay.
And then Brian Tracy is The Psychology of Selling, which is very, very good. It's one of those books also you think you're learning about selling, but you as a person grow so much of how you view yourself. So that was also a very good one. And then I can't remember the writer of it, but The 4-Hour Workweek.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's one of my goals, just to work for 4 hours very practically and then enjoy life with that. So part of my balanced work-life thing.
Okay.
But yeah, it talks a lot about automation and ways to work smarter, which is definitely something that I like exploring. Yeah.
And people can get to that 4-hour work week, obviously, with the tools you provide with the AI assistants, right?
That's the goal. That's really the goal. Is I do believe that we all have a version of ourselves that we don't like as much. We become that person, whether it's stress, when it's anxiety, when it's overload, being burned out. We become irritated. We become short-wired. That's Afrikaans English.
Yeah, that's a bit of kort van draad.
Kort van draad, dat was hy. And so we don't like that version of ourselves. It's not the one that we aspire to become. And what I've realized that my tool can help any manager or entrepreneur or founder is to remain the person that they like, because the tool helps them to get rid of most of their tasks in a quick, efficient way that they feel comfortable with. So that's one of the big solutions that we do, is save your time so that you can focus that only you can do, and then you can do the things that you like as well without burning out. So yeah.
So you believe in the term burnout?
I do believe in the term burnout, because I rebound quite quickly from when I'm like, I'm really like been working constantly and just fried. I do believe there's value of taking a total break, allowing yourself to be really bored. But then usually most entrepreneurs find themselves just thinking about the next thing. And that's part of what I enjoy, is when I take that break, I'm not forced to just look here in front. I get time to get some vision and get some ideas, and then I'm working, but I'm also relaxing. It stirs like a type of faith inside of me to go back. I was like, I want to try this, I want to try that. And
that's good.
And so that's how I see being overworked.
So it's just to provide you want to break away to provide you perspective.
Yes. Yeah.
That is quite important. Do you know why a holiday should be 10 days?
No.
Because it takes your body about 3 days to like get off of the working cycle. Which is quite interesting. Obviously, this is not like backed by science. I don't know. You can obviously Google it, but that's quite cool. Like, because for the first 3 days, you would know, like going on holiday, you're like, I must check my emails, I must do this, and then from the 4th day, you're like, I want to get an ice cream at the beach. Let's go for a walk, and then you start to relax.
Well, I can vouch for teachers that right after the 10-day period, you're like, I just started enjoying holiday, started resting really, and then you have to go back. So you'll get some teachers complaining about their 10-day holiday because they wanted more.
Oh well, that's the service, and that's how the industry in. But it's quite cool.
It's a privilege and it's an honor to work in the education field as well. As most things, we need to become aware of certain things. I think specifically like AI, everybody's aware now of AI. Everybody has their assumptions from AI, and it gets built through social media and the news. And unfortunately, a big deal of AI that gets most publicity is all the negative things and all the things you should be scared of, and oh no, it's going to take my job, and oh no, I got scammed, or this and that. But just like any other tool in the hands of the right person, it can either build a community or it can break a community. And that's why I also believe where AI and what we do at DMAC Technology is we educate people to use it wisely, but also to solve real life problems in a good boundary, in a good environment. I had a teacher, English teacher, and so this teacher is very, very much against AI because the boys would ask AI to write their essays, to write their orals, and all of that. So she like, I'm never gonna touch AI, never, because it's robbing people. They're not learning. They're not being educated. And took me about a month to talk through with her that. But listen, if you ask AI how to write my essay, this is my essay, what improvements will you do? This is my oral, I want to say this. Okay, this is the structure. Break it down for me. Why am I doing this? Why shouldn't I do that? And so again, it's the user ability to use it for self-teaching, self-education, or if you're using it just to get the work out, you can do that. But the response that you will get obviously from that isn't great. So I've used AI quite a lot on myself. One of my, I want to say most embarrassed, but it's a good exercise. I'll advise anybody to do that. I just use ChatGPT and I put all 4 of my personality tests that I've done, put it in there, and I ask it, I'm struggling with my cash flow. Why is that? And its answer really, really amazed me.
Because you haven't phoned Jan, that's why. That's why.
True. And but one of the things was because I'm so person orientated. When I go out, I'll buy somebody a beer. When me and my fiance go out, I say, no, love, it's all on me. And so because I value connection and relationship, I tend to support people with finances. And cool. One of the suggestions it gave me was, you don't have to support people and show that you care and love for people by using your finances. There's other ways to support. And I've been finding it a lot on LinkedIn as well, as people obviously reaches out to you and say, listen, we've got this deal, that deal, what. And it's cool products. It's amazing products and services, but I'm not in a financial position to actually just buy their product. Although my heart's just like, yes, let's do this. Let's do business. Let's talk. Let's build a relationship. But my response will be now, listen, I can't support you financially, but I can support you by liking your content, sharing your content, engaging with your content. And that's what I have for you, without feeling guilty and without feeling bad that, oh no, the relationship gonna get hurt.
So it can point out strengths and weaknesses in one's life.
For sure. Again, if you use it in that way, if you are wired to self-educate, if you're wired to rewire your brain way of thinking, then it's an amazing tool if you spend some time on that. Yeah,
that's quite cool. So young entrepreneurs can use this, and seasoned entrepreneurs can use this for a bit of guidance.
For sure.
To ask questions like, should I do this? Or would this work? What email strategy or whatever would work the best?
So on that topic, I'm working on a project with a university as well. And it's mostly because I got to know one of the people in the marketing area. So he would go to schools and he would give a presentation to the learners and say, this is what we teach, or this is what courses we have on campus, would you be interested? So we want to make it more engaging for them, and we want them to really work with the university's courses and all of that. So I built a prototype currently where the learners can take a picture of their report, or they get it emailed nowadays. Take that email and then put it into Discussion GPT that I've built for the university. And it has all the qualifications, how much marks you must have, all of that built in the background.
That is cool.
And the response is like a career counselor that tells you, at our university, these are the 3 things that you can apply for. This is why we say you apply for this one, why that one. And then you add the thing where I did, add your personality test in there, and it changed completely. And so when I did mine, I put it in there and it said I should go into education.
Oh, like, wow. Okay, cool. Okay, so
second one, technology. And so for me personally, it was spot on. And then there was the one where I didn't think about it because I had agricultural sciences in high school. It said agricultural technology, your relationship, the person that you are, the people, connections that you enjoy. You can do it with farmers, but there's a lot of technology in farming. And so that opened my eyes just of how powerful this tool really can be in the hands if you use it for education purposes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, very excited about that. It's obviously not out there. That's why I'm not naming the uni, but yeah, it's a project we're working on.
Okay, so it's in progress.
Yes.
Yeah. That's flipping fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's one thing that we all struggled with when, I mean, we were grade 10, 11. You had to choose. It's a big life decision. I mean, parents would know. You know, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? You're 16, 17 years old. You don't know really what you want to do. If this tool can help you, they'll guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, and even there, you just ask it the question like, but what's expected of me? And it tells you what's expected. I don't like that. Give me another option, and it will give you another option in context of the university. So, yeah, it's such an engaging way, interactive way, and a tool that unlocks the world for you, really.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the other project we're also working now on is also for the education system, where obviously schools have to work on WCD, and they have human rights and they have education rights, and there's so many rights. Schools get sued now left, right, and center. Vaping, sexuality, all of those type of things are really becoming a big thing in schools. And schools can only protect themselves and students by implementing policies. So what I've done was I created a custom GPT just with all the human rights and educational rights and what WCED, Western Cape Education Department, expects of schools and how we should act and not act. And that became the schools manager GPT. So that's one that managers can use. Listen, this happened. What can we do? What steps should we follow? And it gives a nice plan out, reference some law cases to help the school navigate and upgrade and keep their policies up to date. And then for every subject, still working on it as well, but then every subject, let's say CAT, computers, or English, we built in the back end, we built in the ATPs, which is like the shorter version of what you should do during each term. And then the CAPS curriculum, which is the big education curriculum, tells you exactly what needs to be taught in the year. And we built those in, we put in some past exam papers, and the teacher now uses it to create activities for the learners. That's interactive, real life now situation. So you're cutting out outdated books. You're cutting out a lot of time for learners even having to carry their books and now look for information and stuff. And so the learners can also then use it as a tutor and so use that same GPT and say, I'm struggling with this activity. Give me an activity to practice this, this, and this, and this. And in seconds, they have their activity and break down.
To explain, like, I'm just thinking like in a math questionnaire or an example, like if I did the math wrong, like take a picture, upload it, say, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
How did I not get the same answer as you?
Yeah. So that's cool. Exactly that. And so creating one for every subject and rolling that out, hopefully by the end of this year even. And by doing that is we're helping not just educators burnout. We help students who doesn't have access to all the resources necessarily. I'm talking about different textbooks, and they might have internet access, but they don't know which website and where to go look and find it.
Extra classes are very expensive,
Very, yeah.
Like, I don't know what the going rate is currently, but I mean, it's crazy.
No, it's easily between 300 and 500 Rand if you now, tutoring per hour per student. So
Jeez.
it's definitely something to look at, and in your less privileged schools as well. People don't always have the most qualified educators, although they're supposed to have the education degree and because they don't have it, they have a tool that never lowers the standard. That's always on par with the expectations of what's expected from WCED. Um, so you're upskilling your educators, you're upskilling your students, and I think it's a massive breakthrough for education using AI the way that we do at DMAC Technology. So very excited
That's
about
crazy.
that.
So you're changing the country in a sense, the young people of tomorrow. You're changing them, helping them to be more successful.
Yeah. Look, that was always the goal, to help people. That's what it is. That's
That's
what
why
we
we all
try.
are here, right?
Yes.
It's to help other people.
Uh,
It's lovely to be in the service industry,
it
isn't it?
is.
Yeah,
It is.
to help other people.
Now, and with that, tell me a bit more about what you're currently doing and how you are helping people in today's life.
So we manage high net worth and ultra net worth clients' portfolios.
Mm,
Most of these portfolios are not run correctly,
mm,
meaning it's not in the right products, not invested correctly
mm,
with the right asset allocation, fund selection, etc.
yeah.
And with like your own investment, the costs are through the roof. There's other platforms that are better in that regard,
Mm,
and then just providing clarity regarding portfolio management,
yeah.
how, what, where, and
Yeah.
then also how to transition the wealth from like the parents to the children.
Mm,
I'm talking about obviously big companies.
mm,
That's I'm not going to go through structures and whatever, but let's call it company A, and they make X amount a year, but he wants to retire and exit the company. How should he do that? Um, let's say he made 100 million out of the transaction. How can he retire? He needs maybe 200,000 a month after tax income.
mm,
How should that be structured?
mm,
And then, yeah, how much is needed in South Africa? How much is needed abroad, etc., and just managing the weights
yeah.
and yeah, how to sort out that portfolio.
Yeah.
So it's quite lekker.
Okay. For me, a big thing is I think it's either medical aid or insurance or whatever the case might be, is the amount of paperwork that you have to read through, and policies, and you have to sign everywhere and all that. How do you guys make that easier for people out there?
We see ourselves as advisors,
Mm-hmm.
but in a sense, we're not really advisors. We're more like guides.
Mm.
We walk the path with you, and we're here to educate the people that walk the path with us. So, yeah, paperwork is one thing. We do it all for our clients because obviously we know what they want and etc. And we've got the back office to help that. The client runs a busy life. I mean, you are teaching. Some of my CEOs, they're running a company.
Mm.
There's so much admin involved that they can't always get to filling in the paperwork. So we decided we'll do that on the client's behalf.
Okay.
There's no extra fees and funny things regarding that.
Yeah.
So that's quite lekker. And yeah, like I said, we just believe in clarity and honesty. And that's what it boils down to. And a trusted relationship with good portfolio growth, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And one of the other things, I've been contacted quite recently with the new hip thing, a new way of investing in today's time, and just being overwhelmed with all these promises and all that. I want to say, how would people be able to recognize that you're not a scammer? If I can say it like that, you specifically.
sure. Now, that's a bit of a topic.
How do you imply security that if I'm paying you money, you don't run off with my money?
Okay, so first of all, we are independent.
Okay.
Okay, so just to paint the picture, we are like in the middle, and then you get the platform and the client.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just a facilitator,
Okay.
right? So let's say you do 1,000 Rand a month retirement annuity on a platform. The money goes from your bank account to the platform, and they allocate it as we suggest in our portfolios.
Okay.
So the money never touches our bank account, and we like it that way.
Yeah.
Because it just provides security to the client and to ourselves. So obviously we got insurance for like if an employee steals money or whatever, you have to have that in place according to the FSCA.
Okay.
But so that's our regulatory body.
Mhm.
But yeah, the money flows from or from your account to the platform's account,
Okay.
and they allocate it in your portfolio. And then obviously you have login details. You log in. I've got clients overseas that logs in and views the investments. It's quite lacking. We do enjoy that clarity part, the transparency. They can view it at any time, and it's quite lacquer.
Okay.
And then so we then select the funds in your portfolio. There's certain regulations. You are protected by certain laws. It depends on how it works and what way. Fun fact is that money in the bank is not as safe as you think.
Yeah.
Because
why?
because it forms part of the bank's balance sheet.
Okay.
Think about it, right? So you got R1 million in the bank account, right? So the bank takes that money and goes and borrows it to someone else, and they pocket the middle part. Okay, that's how a bank operates. That's why they have like Basel and King Code and whatever at the back end, that they have to have a certain amount of cash by the end of the day, end of the month in the account for if there's big withdrawals, etc., etc. But you are only protected up to 100,000 rand in a bank account. They only have insurance up until 100,000 rand. They call it CODI, CODI. You guys can go and look on Saab's website for it. So you're only protected to that sense. Whereas with the investment portfolio, if we select, there's different products you can select. But let's say retirement annuity, protected by the Pension Funds Act. So even the platform can fold. That has happened before. Your money's still protected. Even if that company goes
Not happened with you before.
No, not with us. But I mean, because we're independent, we work with everyone. But it has happened in the past. But so like with endowments, you're protected by the Life Insurance Act. With unit trust, it works the same way, but you're protected in that regard. So that is quite cool. Whereas if a bank folds, and banks has folded in the past, like Volkskas, and there's a few other ones that we can mention, but in that sense, you would lose all your money. So, how to, manage the portfolios in that sense. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a big deal, protecting your income.
I know it is. I mean, it's all about like you want to feel safe, and that your income is provided for the rest of your life. Obviously, you're young, you want to build a portfolio. Someone else might be retired. They want to just have, and there's different ways of managing that with risk and how much volatility there can be in the portfolio. So there's a bit of a different approach there. But it all comes down to trust and portfolio growth.
Cool. And if people want to make contact with you guys or with you, how?
They can just pop me a WhatsApp or send me an email. It will also be in the description. And then, if they want to have a cup of coffee or discuss their portfolio, I'm more than happy to sit with them.
Okay, sounds great. So if you are interested in any of what I'm doing currently, you feel free to send me a DM. I'm mostly on LinkedIn, but you can also send me an email at DMAC Technology AI Tools.com.
I believe it will be in the description.
Yes.
So, or just pop him a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Go grab a cup of coffee, and I mean, if there's synergy, you guys can go ahead.
Yeah, we do one-on-one meetings. Thankfully, the Google Calendar system also upgraded, so that's a lot easier to make bookings. So feel free to join me there.